Okay, we're going to set up your interactive science notebooks today. Before we start, we're going to talk about what the actual notebook is and why we're going to use it. So your interactive science notebook is going to be like a diary of your learning throughout the entire year. It's going to be a one-stop shop to help you study for quizzes, tests, or even that great big EOC. It will keep you organized, it'll be fun, you'll be allowed to express your creativity with color and drawing and things of that nature. But at the same time, it's allowing you to connect to those scientists that have become famous in the past because you'll be acting like them. You're thinking, you're recording, and then reflecting. Here's an example of Thomas Edison's notebook. You can note the drawings, the handwriting. It's an actual handwritten journal. Again, just a couple other real scientist notebook examples. So there's a left side and there's a right side, and how do you know what side to use for what? Easy way to remember, left side is learning, right side is reflection and review. So if you look on the left, this is teacher given notes, and on the right would be the way that the student processed the notes. So the left side will only contain things that are given to you by myself or another teacher. Nothing else should be placed on this page. The left side's always going to tell you what things are going to show up on your quizzes and your tests. The left side should always be odd numbers. So if you look at this example, here's an article given by the teacher. We went through and we picked out important parts. So then the student could then pick out those certain parts later when they were trying to reflect and review. So things that could be put on the left side, PowerPoints, Cornell notes, if we watch a movie and I ask you to take notes, vocabulary words, study guides, things of that nature. Here's just a couple examples. There can still be color on the left side. Not that I want you to think it's just the boring side that's black and white, but the right side definitely will be more creative. So for the right side, this is reflection and review. So it's going to belong to you. This page you can draw cartoons, you can make foldables, you can include clock questions, which we'll get to a little bit later, but basically you're letting your creativity go wild. This is your notebook. It shouldn't be the same as everybody else in the class. Here's an example of the activity on the right. This is taking that teacher-given information article that we went and highlighted main points out of and turning it into a drawing. Examples, we went over poems. Sometimes people have written songs, they've drawn, they've done graphic organizers. Here's a couple examples. Note the color. Foldables, just some other creative ways of displaying the information. So I mentioned that clock questions were a review and reflect type of item that could show up on the right side of your page. Clock questions are just reviewing material, what we learned in the previous lesson. There are 12 clock questions. If you look at your interactive science notebook handout that will glue into your notebook, it can be found on the bottom right of page 3. You can take a minute and check those out. So why are we using them? What are the kids saying that have used them? They're saying that it's super easy. It's a way to keep your things organized and always up to date. However, make sure you are updating your table of contents so that you're able to quickly find things. Make sure that you are keeping it in order, daily, not saving it off for the day before your notebook will be checked. Just have it with you every day and it will be a helpful tool. The supplies will all be provided for you except for the composition notebook. So just be sure that you brought that notebook and we will get them set up today. Just a couple rules before we actually start getting your notebook ready. No ripped out pages, no tearing the corners, no doodling that doesn't relate to science. So I don't want to see you, working out a couple math problems or starting your English paper. Those things do not go in this notebook. It is just for biology class. Make sure that the pages are numbered in the top right and left corners, and that you date each page when we put something in there. Any page that's created must go into your table of contents. I will provide those for you. You just have to write in what is actually on each page. And last but not least, you want your notebook to be colorful, and you want to be proud of your notebook, so make it yours. Alright, we're ready to set up your notebook. So, step 1. On the front cover, you are going to put your name. You need your first and your last name, and please write it so that we can read it. Beneath that, I want hour. And finally, the school year 2015-2016. And then once you've got that done, starting with the second page, I want you to number the first 50 pages. So if you open up your notebook and you turn that first piece of paper over, on that side, when you've got a piece of notebook paper on the left and a piece of paper on the right, the side on the left, top left corner will be number 1. The page on the right, the top right corner will be number 2. They should be small and on the top outside corners of each page. Go ahead and number to 50. Okay, when that is done, then we are going to set these handouts on top of the pages. We will secure them later. So on your inside cover will be the ISN booklet that I have given you prior to this presentation. Go ahead and leave your first page blank for now. We'll come back to that. Flip over, and on page 1, place your syllabus. Page 2, this class scavenger hunt. I realize we haven't finished this yet. We will finish this week when we're in the computer lab. Okay, if you go ahead and flip over to page 3, your Unit 1 overview, and then across from that will be your table of contents. Flip over to page 5 and 6. On 5 will be your lab safety contract. I will hand those back to you as soon as I get them checked off and note who has turned them in and who hasn't. And then on page 6, we will be starting a lab equipment worksheet. So as long as we get to that today, you will have that for homework. It should be quick and easy. Alright, and once you've got that information in your notebook, we will take the time here in a minute and actually secure it with glue or tape. Step 4, you need to go ahead and copy down this information. As long as you followed my rules through this setup, this table of contents should be good for you. So go ahead and fill out your table of contents sheet and page numbers, and place that where the table of contents should go. Alright, the last step is step 5, creating your author's page. So if you flip back just to the first piece of paper inside your notebook, we left it blank. You are going to separate out the sheet into the 7 units of biology. First we'll have nature of science, then ecology, cells and homeostasis, biochemistry, evolution, DNA and cell division, and genetics. And I want you to create your own author's page. So maybe just use bright colors or draw something that makes you think of each unit and just make it your own. Be colorful and make sure that you're proud of your notebook, okay? So take your time, go ahead and work on that, and your notebook will be set.